Guys, you are now watching a clip from the Fellas podcast. You can listen to the full podcast exclusively on Spotify for free. So make sure to head over there, leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed, and follow the podcast.
That's why I think like people are getting onto Liverpool way too much at the minute and City. Like,
not Chelsea.
Anyway,
basically Liverpool and City. Like for the past 5 years, they've set this standard of like you have to get like 95 plus points to win the league.
Joke.
Yeah, that Liverpool
Man City have lost a couple of games, and Liverpool have lost a couple of games, and everything's like they've fallen off. They've done this. No, they haven't. They're still a world-class team.
Yeah.
But certain teams will go through a stage of either injuries, referee decisions, or a team might just beat them on their day.
Do you reckon that era of trying to get 100, if you didn't get 100 points, you didn't win the league, is that more because of what Pep and Klopp did, or is that more of like the rest of the league kind of dropped off a little bit, talking about teams like Manchester United, Tottenham,
I think
Chelsea?
a bit of both, yeah. But I think it's more of like what they did, but with combined of the other teams going through like a process of rebuilding, like the Tottenham, Arsenal, United. Like, let's be honest, like Arsenal and United, for example, haven't really been there or thereabouts for the past few years.
I hope it can be us over the next few years battling it out.
Well,
That's right, that'd be so good, wouldn't it? Like a different few teams, but also imagine how good it would be to say you've got 4 or 5 teams who can genuinely win the league.
Yeah.
Well,
it does look like it could be going that way, because I've got no doubt that Klopp will bring it back in some way. Maybe Nunes isn't banging right now, but I do think he will.
I don't want to hear any slander on his
I like him. I like him.
But this is what I'm saying. Like it's all about form, and it's all about momentum and stuff like that. And things have to go your way. Like if you look at City last year, I remember a game against Everton when Rodri could have got given a penalty against him, and it didn't go.
I don't remember that.
The handball.
Handball is like hit him here.
Oh, I do remember that.
And it was like it didn't get given a penalty, and they won the game 1-0. So it's
that's
like
a difference maker,
and then it's like a difference maker. And
what did you think of that? Obviously, recently City game, Rashford's.
Oh yeah, the
through.
Mate, that's offside.
But obviously, he's not touched the ball, not interfered. Well, he has interfered with the play.
it's offside.
That's got to be an offside,
You'd
right?
be fuming because the way you would play that situation.
Nah, but the thing
I'm
is,
looking at it as a goalkeeper, though. Like as a goalkeeper, I'm looking at Rashford running through on the ball. I'm taking my angles off him. Edison, if Rashford wasn't there, I would probably guess that Edison wouldn't be as high up as he is. He'd be deeper because he's looking at Fernandes running onto the ball, probably going to shoot.
Because he doesn't know that, because the way Rashford's running is it looks like he's going to take the ball, right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't know that Rashford's not going to, so it is interfering. I can say as a United fan, it is.
Because if he takes the touch into the box, then Edison's there to like go for a 1v1.
Yeah.
But then he doesn't, and then Fernandes comes on and hits it, and he's not in the right position, but that's affected from Rashford. So as a goalkeeper's point of view, I would, even if my team would have scored it, I'd have felt like we've got a look of the draw there.
How is obviously the vibe in the changing room and everything must be just amazing, and it's something that you're now part of. But you have been previously part of teams that have been relegated, and it's kind of because you've kind of gone from two almost polar opposites really quickly. Usually people will sort of like bounce their way up there, but you've literally gone from like down here in relegation territory to, you know, potential title winning side. How does it? It's going to sound like an obvious question with an obvious answer here, but what is the difference that you really feel? You obviously have like, you know, Arteta doing his thing, like so smart, takes it from such a tactical view, but like in terms of the changing room vibes, is it just like, is it totally different? I don't want it to sound like a stupid question, but
it's just the enjoyment.
The enjoyment,
like,
yeah.
It's like, you know, when probably got for you guys, like when you've got, you know, you're doing a podcast that day, you probably wake up wanting to do the podcast.
Yeah.
When you're down there and you're struggling, like there's days and it's gloomy outside and stuff, and you're like, oh, fuck, like, do we really need to do it?
Yeah.
And like everyone would be like, oh, you're a footballer, blah, blah, but it's still like, it's your job, and it's also like, it's just you, it's your pride, isn't it? And you just got beat at the weekend, then you've got to go into training. So now it's just like we go into training and there's music blasting basically 24/7 in the changing room. Like everyone's enjoying themselves. Training is so competitive with a laugh and a joke. Like that's probably the other big thing is like you lose a game and on the Monday you're subconsciously just always thinking about, can I do this? Can I do that? And then you're kind of not being yourself. And then you're affecting yourself, but also affecting the team and stuff like that. So that's probably the biggest thing, just like the enjoyment of like wanting to do something. Like,
Yeah.
it's the same for everything, isn't it? Like, if you want to do something, like fully, you put everything into it. Like,
If it's going well, you almost feel like addicted to it. Like there's a high. Like
you'd look forward to going in.
The motivation is there.
Yeah.
But then when the motivation goes, you got to rely on the discipline.
And individuals.
Yeah.
And but like you say, I literally went from this to that. Obviously, we've not achieved anything at the minute, but even from where I've got to, like, even if we don't achieve anything this season, like, it's a massive gap.
Was it scary moving across to Arsenal because they had Leno there at the time? Were you a bit like, fuck, like it's going to be like a real challenge?
No, that's what I wanted.
That's what you were after.
Yeah. Me and my dad are real close. Like, me and my mum and dad, but me and my dad, football wise, real close. And we were at Christmas time when I was at Sheffield when we were struggling, and he basically said to me, I didn't want you to move from Bournemouth. And I was like, well, you didn't say anything that to me at the time. It was like, right, I wanted you to follow whatever.
Make your own choices.
Make your choices.
Yeah.
He's like, but this time, if something does happen, the only transfer you'll move is if it's a big club, even if that's number 1 or number 2, and you'll fight your way in and get it. It's like, I'm not seeing you go to another club, fight relegation, and see what you like every day after training or games or whatever, and go through this for another year. So at that point, I was like, all right, sound, like, if that's what he's thinking, I was thinking the same. And then the challenge part is probably the best thing about being a goalkeeper. Like, there's only one person who plays, so you have to bet at the other person, and that's what you live for.
What was that? What was the day like? Like the actual, not the day that you signed for Arsenal, but the day that you kind of found out that you that was potentially on the cards. Who came to you? What happened?
It was nuts. It was in so before the Euros, we had that like pre-season, like pre-camp training thing where we played like 2 games up in Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
And I was one of the 4 goalies before like the main squad went off. And basically just got told that someone from the club would ring me and whatnot. So I spoke to Bakayo, and he gave me like a list of numbers of who potentially might ring me. So if I see the number, I know it's them. So I can like prepare.
Okay.
Oh, that's classy.
So it's just like, I wasn't...
Because I don't answer numbers.
I don't answer
know.
numbers.
Wait,
either.
you say you're going to call them to be prepared? Is it almost like an interview, or
No, just like...
No, it's just a call up. So you know not to
you're
be...
composed and you can
keep
talk
it calm?
to them.
Yeah, you don't want to be like,
Yeah, or even if I'm just woken up from a nap or something, just be like,
Wake up.
I could text them back and say, listen, I'm gonna just woken up or something. So Bakayo helped out in that way, and that was weird, but it was then like 2 months since that first initial contact till I
took a while.
actually moved. Yeah. So obviously Sheffield United, we went down, and they were doing what was best for the club and trying to get as much money as possible. And it was all fair ball. And then there was a few things which were said which I didn't agree with, and then basically we had to try and force them even more and get the move over the line, which we ended up doing.
Was besides Arsenal, you don't even have to say the team's name, were there any other clubs that were sniffing around at that time? Potentially,
there was 2 or 3, but again, they weren't
the top.
They weren't teams which...
That your dad had.
Okay, yeah.
They did teams,
Premier League teams or...
So newly promoted teams. And, and teams looking for who would probably just sort of stay like 15 down, who stayed up the year before.
Got you.
And you're looking, thinking if they lose that player, then you could be in trouble.
Was it like a toss-up though? Was it like you could go to that team, be starting keeper, or you go to Arsenal and try and compete with Leno? Was that the situation?
Yeah, basically. It was as soon as it was Arsenal, I was like, I'm going there.
Yeah.
And then I knew how good Bernd was.
Because let's not play around. Like, he's actually a cold keeper.
So good, man.
He's so good. Yeah.
But at the time, he was just having a little bit of dip in confidence, dip in form. But again, the team was changing, so I felt a bit. I feel a bit sorry when people say what he was to what I am in this Arsenal team. But if you look at the team which the players who he played with, and Mikel then got them out of the club and brought in his own. It's a bit harsh to say he was doing this whilst I'm doing that when they were in a transition period. But obviously I knew he was struggling a little bit for form. So I just went in there and they were like, the best thing they said to me was, we don't see you as a number 2, but if you don't play for the first 6 months or a year, we still won't see you as a number 2. So like they weren't going to label it.
Yeah.
That's good.
So like it's a fair shot. Like if you're good enough, you're going to get in, but it still might take a year to get in. It's just like you've just got to keep going. Yeah. And then
a lot younger as well, so
obviously they had a poor start to the season, and I managed to get in so much earlier than I thought. So
Can I ask? Yeah, because I always thought this as a player, right? And I think this might be because of the movie's goal. Yeah,
my dad said he played against Fulham.
Fuck.
Yeah. No. But the main thing I'm talking about is, see, when he like rocks up to like Real Madrid, I think it was. Maybe that was goal 2.
That was goal 2,
yeah.
Because it was Newcastle's first one.
Yeah,
you've seen them both, yeah?
Yeah.
Sick. What?
Oh no, is this that fucking thing? You know how they have the phone underneath?
No, it's the intercom.
Is this BBC?
Oh, fuck.
Oh yeah, because that's what I was gonna say. I thought it was the phone.
Fuck. No.
Is this actually not part of the?
No,
you know, because it's like another game or something. I thought someone else was going.
Did you see that BBC clip though? How
crazy,
fucking crazy!
Yeah, so you know the guys, like they went in and taped the little phone to the underside of a table, right, and it plays porn sounds. Are they not gonna get him mad shit for that?
What can you do though?
Like how did he do that? Because he went to BBC office.
He's obviously got access to the studio before game day.
But ain't this the guy who like gets on the pitch?
Jarvo.
Jarvo. You seen Big Jarvo?
Nah.
Is that who it is?
The guy who lines up for, get this on here. He lines up with
whack it on.
runs on for like cricket matches and lined up with
balls.
He's one of these guys, that actually got a bit jarring.
And he's acting like he's part of the team.
Yeah, but he's got like a Pakistani. Is that Indian or Pakistani shirt?
It was against India.
What, in the cricket team?
Yeah.
He's
But he's done like rugby and that as well, where he's got like, to know where the tape around his ears and all that.
So he's gone
fully look, Jarvo just running on.
He's a unit, you know.
Read the number, 69.
Just like standing next to the stumps.
He's got
He
a
looks
ball.
like he's about to bowl.
Yeah,
Wait,
he
is he
is.
about to?
No way, he's about a ball.
That is cool.
Oh wait, he's come out in pads as well before.
That's what I'm saying, look. So he just walks out in pads and it's like...
Oh my
God, they've let him
He's
back.
taking
They've
guards
let him
and
back.
everything.
He's got the pad
Oh
on the wrong
my
way.
to front.
God. They've had him.
He does like, he's done loads
he's a big lad though, he'll get away with it.
He's done loads. I think it was him.
Yeah, it was
who's
him.
done it.
I saw
Have you-
that.
So there's got to be... You can't get... There's only so much trouble you can get into.
Nah, you can't get in that.
He hasn't
Mate, you've
committed a
just been
crime,
rustled
has he?
here. Like, you've just been rustled.
He hasn't committed a crime.
I think
has
if
he?
you're BBC, by the way, you got to let it slide because it's done a lot for the show.
Nah, you know what? It will be that he'll have a mate that works there that's got him the fob access and they've just let him up. So the person that would let him in is probably going to get in the shit rather than him.
No one knows,
maybe,
man. Have
That
you
was
ever had like people running on the pitch come up to you and be like, "Oh, Aaron, that was." Take
mate,
me.
he had a geezer
I got assaulted a couple of days ago.
Yeah, you know.
The only other time I've had someone on the pitch was last year when someone tried to glue himself to the goal. No, for that, do you know that stop oil thing?
Yeah.
Oh wait, was it glue or was it the zip tie?
No, so the zip tie was the Everton one.
Oh.
So what they had, so we got briefed before the game, like before near enough every game for like a month, saying like if they touch you have to tell us because they had like some adhesive on. So it's like you can't touch them because like it could affect you and like
Oh, wow.
like all this stuff. But the zip tie one was Everton, but he also had glued hands. So like the one which we had, he put his hands through the goalpost and tried to do it, and he got caught just in time.
Wow.
So what, they just managed to separate it?
Just managed to get to him before he actually got round the post and that. But I've never had anyone else come on the pitch.
Mate,
what was it Richarlison? What was Richarlison saying to you when that guy kicked?
Nah, he's just pissed in it. He's lost a derby.
So there you are.
Because he's proper saying something, and I was wondering what was.
So that was at our game.
Oh, that's
So it's the other end. So it wouldn't really affected me either.
Nah, but if you got glue on your
Wait,
hands,
it was the other end. So you were just like, that looks like fun.
oh, he's got glue on the
Oh,
hands.
he's had a shocker there.
And then they just act dead, don't they? Like a dead weight.
It's really weird, you know. I find it quite weird.
But that came from the home, like from our like main home fans. Obviously, he wasn't an Arsenal fan; he just got a ticket, didn't he? But Richarlison,
you look very angry. I kind of like
basically.
I like his attitude a little bit.
He's just lost. He lost the game, which was fair enough, and he didn't take to my celebrating, which actually I didn't do too much. There's a lot of people who score and take the shirts off and do all sorts.
Let me take it back to Adebayo.
Let me take it back to the World Cup where these lot were
samba dancing.
Come on, man! Like, look, it's part of the game.
I think that would more of a culture thing, innit?
But then you get you also get Jamie Vardy, who I love for this. It's so good. But like, he scored at Crystal Palace and did like the eagle.
Don't forget about the flag, man.
Yeah, like that was against me.
Was crazy. Was that you?
That was against me.
Scored.
So he's a Chef Wednesday fan.
Go on, fucking yeet that flag.
Jamie Vardy's top guy. Like us, when we play, we'll speak to each other and that. And he's a Chef Wednesday fan. And the year before, actually, he scored against Sheffield United and cupped his ears. And you can see it's one of the funniest pictures ever from like Sheffield United fans fuming at him. But then there's a line like the fans didn't go and try and kill him, boot him.
I'd love to have a bev with him, you know.
But like. People who score do a lot more. So like I turn around and you can see on the video there's probably 3 or 4 fans who were giving me some, probably our age.
Yeah.
And they took it really well. They took it like proper well. And at the end of the game they clap thumb up as best as you can as you've just lost the derby. But it was reciprocated really well. So I turned around and gave him a fist bump and a little kiss of the badge and that was it. And normally I like I've done a lot worse, a lot worse at other places. And he basically was just like, no, like, go over there, pointing to our fans. And then I was just like, I'm getting my water bottle and my towel and whatever. Yeah. So he was pointing me in my face and that. And that was all.
You kept it pretty tame. You kept it pretty simple.
That's just after the game, man. Like, I don't think he should have done it, but at the same time, I could see why. Yeah. Like,
he's one of those players. He does get heated, Richarlison. You see it. I've seen it like a million times. Like, he does that.
But like even in game, like obviously he's teammates with some of our Brazilian boys, and they in the game they're at each other, and then after the game,
you see the Martinelli go for the handshake. That was so class. Like, you know. By the way, when he didn't give him the high five, I knew it. Yeah, it's a wrap.
So like,
you're right.
That's the thing. So like, it happens in game. That's fine, and then obviously
afterwards,
everything happened after. But I actually thought I was quite tame.
I kind of like that shit, man. It reminds me. I
love that.
Reminds me of Rooney and Ronaldo. Might be talking 2006.
Yeah, the World Cup.
Or was it World Cup?
When he got sent off.
When he got sent off, and then they winked. But then they get back to the club, and it's like, fucking hell, I'm assisting you all game.
Like, not anymore. Yeah, I need you.
I like that.
Went back and dropped that 08 masterclass. You wouldn't know about that kind of shit. Don't worry about it.
But like that photo there is like 15 Sheffield United fans in the Kop giving him all sorts.
Nah, I love that. You know what?
Like that's football.
That shit housery. That's football heritage, right?
But that's what I'm saying. But that's nothing.
Yeah,
and I don't think I did anything.
Mate, you didn't
know about. I didn't even do anything worse than that.
That's next up.
Don't worry about it. Nah, you got Antonio Conte vibes. Material win. That's what he said, isn't it, in the interview?
Yeah.
That's what it is. What it is.
But it's just like these things happen all the time.
Oh, what, you pulling up this merchant? Yeah. This guy just reminds me of my win.
So you celebrate all the time. So people who score celebrate all the time. Yeah. And